putting in a large treehouse system next to the zoo in the trees.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've never heard of them.
No, I just, I looked at it and I just thought, we need to start drawing people here.
Okay, I see you're under new business. They do have to be down.
All right. I'm just gonna pitch it, see what sticks. If nothing sticks, I'll go back home. No, I do, I work with a banker and we buy houses and then gut them and, But I love kids and I built stuff for the Children's Museum in St. Paul.
Oh, okay.
I did the whole natural thing, that wing down there,
Uh-huh.
all the seating, all the, everything.
You want to do it on one of them big pine trees?
Well, I'd like to do it in about 3 of them. I was looking, I actually had pictures to see.
Well,
It's hard to see. I should have went yesterday, but I was having a concrete fall on me, so I was kind of busy. But no,
A treehouse is a great idea.
well, the thing of it is that I was talking to the lady who was the administrator for the zoo,
Marnita.
yeah, and she says, well, we have tons of people coming here for birthday, kids. And I said, oh my God, I mean, can you imagine? You have a place where you could actually have like 30 kids sitting up there.
Oh, this is right off the parking lot.
Right, that way the kids can look into the, the animals and that, and everything. So.
Oh, it'd be the perfect spot for one.
Yeah, I think it would be, huge for a draw, just to get people to come back into town.
Kids love tree houses.
Well,
Adults love tree
I mean,
houses.
you look at the main street, what do we got? We got new businesses coming in or secondhand stores. I mean, we need something that's actually building it.
David won't be here.
Oh, is that the public copy there?
That's what I figured.
Is that the public copy?
Yes.
Yes. You must be Steven.
Yep, right. Yeah, I just wanted to pitch it real quick, and if it sticks with you guys and you're sort of interested, then I can do a whole drawing and everything else.
Yeah, I see a great put you kind of laughs on it, Jim.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If there's nobody else,
No, that's.
we can bump him up so he doesn't have to sit here all.
Well, that's what I kind of figured. When Greg said that there was somebody coming, I usually put them first.
Yeah, pictures, yeah. I mean, they're crap. I should have taken them yesterday, but I was working, so.
Yeah, today was a very nice day. Yeah, we got some big trees over there.
Well, I designed I'm pretty smart on building engineering. I developed a way to work, basically the weight of the treehouse really doesn't sit that much on the tree itself. Basically, the counterbalance of the beams that come off from underneath it counteract the weight of the actual treehouse itself. So it's kind of a, I like trees. I was the first manager of the Arboretum in Brainerd. And I planted thousands of trees. So,
I worked at LeBlanc Game Farm for 20 years, and we had a minimum that we planted a minimum of 10,000 trees every spring.
yeah, well, back in the day, what we did is we had to water everything with buckets. The arms get real long. And finally, I took my own money and bought an old Ford and got a couple of those big tanks on there and just started hauling around the outlet. Now it's a park, I guess. So it's a lot of work to run an arboretum.
We just planted some trees along towards Lindbergh Park there, flowering crowds. And it used to be parking lot, so the ground wasn't that good as ground.
Right.
But we did the same thing. We got an old spray tank from one of the farmers. We borrowed it for the summer, and we go down and it had a pump you could reverse, so you fill it up out of the river and then water them every couple of days.
Yeah. What kind of trees?
Flowering crabs.
Oh, really?
They're right in the boulevard, so it's something for.
Yeah, right. That's a good thing.
Victor.
You know, he has not, he just sent it in through,
Yeah, I don't know anything about it, so I just know that
the owns, the one that I have to, is that the one you're talking about?
yeah.
So I look here,
Through the DNR, I don't know what his thoughts were on that. It's something to pursue, I think.
but this, for the rum river one,
This isn't the Rum River, this is the DNR. He mentioned something about Rum River and then said, you didn't think.
yeah, see this, the rum river one, I don't believe that we fall into that category.
Yeah,
Now, this is, I think it's limited to this area, the way I understand that.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because the Rum River is over there anyway. The rest of our guys gonna show up. Got a few minutes.
Sure, hope so.
I got some tools I'm waiting to hear. I'm on eBay and I got a bunch of tools I'm trying to buy.
Oh.
So I'm waiting for the text message. So I did it right. A bunch of quarter cable stuff. A whole, like, saw, impact wrench, sawzall, circular saw, drill net. I got it 150 or $175 right now.
You gonna sit in or?
I have little updates we can deliver.
Uh-oh,
Yes.
what do we got?
The information about that property came up at a council meeting in the last park board meeting. We have these tax forfeiture properties that they sold. To know what that valuation was after costs.
Jeff, you wanna hear that?
So that motion that was made at the last meeting to request for the funds from the vacant lot sales, we got the total amount after the expenses for the 3 lots that we got. It's $49,551.91, so a little under 50,000. Then Lori also gave me what the Zoom improvement is doing with the tower lease rents. And they actually netted $21,000 this year positive from those lease tower rent agreements. So they lowered the debt on that.
So we went down $60,000.
No, it went down to 21,000. The 49 hasn't been applied to that
Oh.
yet. And then, so that came up to council last night. They tabled it just because we didn't have the exact numbers. So it'll be up for further discussion. So the tower leases do increase per contract every year. So one of them is a 3% every year. The other one is 15% after 5 years. So essentially it averages out to 3% a year. So those tower leases actually do go up. So at this rate, the zoo improvement debt payoff would be 8 years. So, but it'd be less than that because the tower improvements are going to go up unless we, there are further expenses behind the revenues that are brought in. So.
And that is with what we are taking out of our
I think, yeah,
with
that's on top of the budgeted money. So. And we budget.
We have the dates out there that we.
Yeah, so it would be within that time.
How much interest do we pay on that a year?
I have no idea. I don't know if it's a calculation of how much interest gained to the overall fund balances within the city, and then those accounts that have a negative fund balance pay that back. So like basically those funds, because they don't have any money, are paying back the ones that do have money. So if it's based on the interest that we're gaining on the investments, it's very, very little. There's the interest rate, market rates just out there for what we can invest in.
So that interest is paid to where, a bank or?
It goes back into the investment pool, and then those get distributed out based on fund balances that have.
So we're
positive
basically paying interest to the city.
Yep. Because the city itself, with the investment dollars, it's basically one big pool of the funds that we don't have to keep liquid for operations.
Okay.
So all of the different funds contribute into that one big pot of money. And within that big pot of money, there's various investments. There's smaller CDs. There's longer term. We buy into municipal bonds. There's things like that. But there's limitations to what cities can invest money in. We can't just go into the stock market and invest, buy up stocks.
So in essence, if we didn't have any interest going into that pool, we wouldn't have any investments,
Yeah.
which in some way would cost us money.
Yeah. So it used to, and nowadays it's really, we actually have a hard time with money in the banks because the interest rates and the actually holding on to money is just so expensive now. And John might be able
You have to actually pay them to
Yeah.
keep your money.
There's some instances that's actually taking place.
See, I was
It's
looking
safe
at it.
though.
But
Yeah,
it's
right.
But that's the thing.
You know why
about
they created the FDIC? So they have the legal right to take your money.
So
So there's a little.
I was looking at it as another way. I hate interest because you're just paying into the air, but the way you're doing it here, it's like it's going into somewhere where it's actually generating something.
but right now it's
Yeah.
still very little.
But
It's not like it used to be 15 or 20 years ago.
because I would just assume we weren't paying any interest debts at all. I mean, we could pay everything right off because that's a smart way to do it.
Yeah, that's-
Otherwise, in the long run, interest just costs you more money.
And that's actually been a goal that we had when we were doing year-end transfers. We were closing out, balancing out funds that didn't have a revenue stream accounted to them, so that we're making sure that those are at zero.
Well, I'm sure we'll discuss this 40-some thousand later, but
Let's call the meeting to order. You have an agenda in front of you, is there anything you want to add?
Yes, if you have the agenda that Greg sent out, please throw it out and take one off the top of the table.
I think everybody's got the new ones.
Yeah.
Okay, then we need a motion.
So move to approve the agenda as written.
I'll second it.
Motion made by John, second by Frank. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Minutes.
I make a motion to approve as written.
A motion by John. Second by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Finance report? Doug, anything?
I don't know a whole lot about it.
Then I think we can go through it. You got a copy of it.
Yeah. It isn't gonna show much because we're in January right now, but.
We're just starting out now.
Just an update for this group for the year-end transfers. The city, we made the transfers into the park improvement fund, and then with the other expenses, there was going to be a $26,000 transfer from the park operating to park improvements. But the way the operating revenue and expenses worked for the parks, they would have went negative for the year if we made that $26,000 transfer. However, the general fund had a surplus, so the general fund made the $26,000 transfer back into the park improvement fund for 2015 rather than the park improvement fund. The general fund also transfers in all the operating revenue for the parks anyway, so it was, it's general fund money operating the parks, so it's general fund going into that park improvement. So we did make the full transfer for what was budgeted for that year, despite that. So it otherwise would have brought the park operating at a deficit for the year, but in turns we had money, surplus money in general anyway, so we made that improvement transfer. So it's there for improvements in the future.
I'm glad you did it.
Yeah.
Everybody sort of glasses over.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of it's confusing. Like I said, there's all these different funds that we have, but it would have been general.
You just said?
It would have been general fund money anyways. So we just figured instead of having to do 3 transfers to then make it whole, we just figured we'd do that.
Instead of putting the money into the operating fund and then moving it to the blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Let's just move it straight there.
Yep. So we didn't have to show one
Got it.
at a deficit.
Okay, we have a guest today, Stephen.
Aye.
I'm gonna move him up, so he doesn't have to sit through this whole meeting. He's gonna talk to us about Pine Grove Park Treehouse. Steve, you got?
Yeah, what it is that I own Wildwood's Furnishings too, and I also have a construction company. But I have experience working with building things for kids and stuff, like I did the St. Paul Children's Museum and stuff like that with all their natural area, and several other places. But I was sitting there looking at it because I used to go there as a kid all the time, and I thought, wouldn't that be cool to have it where you would have your zoo, and then that, if you look at the pictures, are horrible. I mean, it's dark. But I can do, what I'm here to do is just to pitch the idea, and if it sort of sticks to something, you guys are sort of thinking maybe we'll listen to it for a little bit more, drawings and stuff like that, then, I'll do it. But basically what I'm thinking is that have about a three-piece treehouse system, comes from the parking lot, you see that one building there, where those 3 or 4 big trees are right basically over the animal sanctuary area. And so what you would have is I would build something to where you would have up to 25, maybe 35 kids, where you could have them sitting up there, and the naturalists would be talking about the trees and whatever, you know what I mean? And you have birthday parties and all that stuff. And I know no one's got any money, believe me, I know that. But my thinking was, how I came to an idea was, I could set it up where I would make a portion of the sales of just going to the treehouse. You'd have a 2-part ticket, one for this zoo, you'd have one for the zoo and the treehouse. I think it would be crazy, as far as kids. I mean, you're talking You know, we're talking a world-class treehouse. I'm good at building. You know, where they could come and have their birthday parties and run up and down the you know, walkways and everything. And I do it safely to where they have netting and all that stuff, so even the suicidal ones would be cool, so. But, you know, I just thought it'd be a good way to draw people into the city. Get things moving again. Because you can't make a real economy on secondhand stores. We need to start having people come from all over to come back to the area. And I just think it would be great. I don't know. It's an idea.
You know, a couple summers ago, I was in Alnwick, England, and they restored this garden that was like 60 years unattended. One of the big draws is they put up these tree houses. They're huge, and then they have suspension bridges going between it and rope bridges. They even had a little restaurant up there. But the people that came just to be up in that tree house was
Well, you
amazing.
feel like a kid again.
Yeah, it was just amazing. And they had a maze, you know, that's another idea.
Yeah, right,
A tree maze, you know.
right, right.
And they
You
drew
have to, you
people,
know,
yeah.
I think with Snowball, I mean, you're talking about basically virgin forest. I mean, that's kind of an oddity in itself. And you're gonna have people coming in there, I mean, they're gonna be buying food, you're gonna, probably within a year, you'd have a restaurant. You know, at least a restaurant, you know, with popcorn, hot dogs, stuff like that. And that starts bringing in money, and taxes, and money. And I think that's what we need to, you know, I think the city, you know, you've got this, you're close to 2 major highways. And, you know, and you've got all the different other things that are around here, like the fort and all that stuff, you know what I mean? And I think that it would be, you know, because I used to go to the zoo every weekend, because my mom used to go to the chiropractor here, so, and they would run me over there while she was doing that. But the, you know, I just think that it would bring tons of people from, hell, I bet you people, can you imagine you're driving up here, everybody's stopping at McDonald's because why, you know, they're halfway to Brainerd. But all of a sudden now you see on the sign, you have the zoo, and you got, you know, come to see the you know, the tree house that overlooks the animals in the natural area. I think it would just be, I think you'd have to increase the size of the parking lot, probably 2 or 3 times. I mean, that's not what you want to do, but I'm just saying, I think it'd be hugely, you know, because it's a big deal. And we'd use all natural woods from the area, you know, from the species of natural area from the Minnesota. A lot of white oak, you know, stuff like that, and pine for the siding, so we get out that nice polished look and everything, you know, the browns. And as far as like, well, I think it would just be great. I don't know.
Did you put together other ones like that?
No, I've never done one. I mean, I build houses, I build custom homes, I
They have a
build so many different things. So.
show on TV every week that shows.
Oh yeah, that guy, yeah.
Tree houses.
Yeah, he is, see, for me, what it is also is the preservation of the trees. And I developed a thing, I'm pretty good at engineering, so I developed an idea to where basically the main weight of the treehouse would be offsetting on each other, like this kind of thing, fulcrum kind of thing. And then you just have it basically be around the tree, but that would just be stabilizing. That's it. You know, and you know, this is not something you decide overnight. I just wanted to see if you guys were even interested in grow.
Just from past experience, there was a time they were trying to put a train through there, but there
Just
was
what I
some
was thinking.
issues. There's some issues. They would have to be dealt with. You know
I mean,
what
like a train or like a little kid?
Little
mini
kid
train.
train.
Oh,
mini
like an old Paul Bunyan?
Because
Oh, yeah,
the
okay.
park itself was donated to the city and had to be maintain its natural look.
Yeah, right.
And then if you start adding amenities like tree houses and that, so that would be something you'd have to deal
Right,
with.
right.
You'd have to, I mean, the attorneys would have to look at it.
Oh, when we did the Arboretum, I was the first manager there. Believe me, that was a dump. You know, we bought it for $1. But even that, all of a sudden the EPA came out of the sky, and I mean, we had to build all these different
Brainerd?
ponds, and yeah,
Okay.
it was crazy, you know. And that's why they turned it back into a park, because there were just so many things that you had to deal with, you know. But I understand what you're talking about, and that's why I was saying it really isn't going to. It's going to basically be an addition to the natural, not a takeaway where I have to cut things down.
See, if there was a place in there where you wouldn't be touching the white pine, putting something around it, see, that's what the whole natural thing is all
Right,
there, is the
right.
white preservation of the existing
Right,
white
right.
pine.
Well, you can do that, and you can also, like, I've seen them where they built them, where they actually build it, actually goes down along the stem of the tree itself. And that's what the whole thing is sitting on.
I
And it's
built,
sort of, big winds come, it moves a little bit, but other than that, that's pretty good.
I built spiral staircases that had to go around without touching that tree.
Yeah.
It's an engineering feat, but it can be done.
Oh, yeah, it's not that hard. Yeah, I've done a lot of high-end stuff out in Montana and that, with the rich people play, and I've done a lot of different interesting things. I just think it'll be a lot of fun have kids have a place to go. Personally, I think the economy is can in probably 4 or 5 months. I mean, I follow economics really close. That's why we're trying to get into housing right now. But, and I think that if we have something like this, you're gonna, kids, I think my dad put it the best. He said, you know what, if you build something or you make the best food or something, even in the dire straits with the depression, people are gonna come. Because they just need to be happy for a day. And that's definitely gonna be that. So, but anyway, you guys wanna think about it, go out there and take a look at the trees and everything, and,
And you have talked to Marnita, you said.
huh?
You have talked to Marnita about this?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Previous, and
Oh, yeah.
she is,
Well, she thinks, Treehouse, I mean, it's sort of like, hey, would you like me to bring, Nathan's hot dogs? Everybody,
she
no
is-
one's gonna say
she
no.
she is on board with this.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That's,
Well, it's gonna add to it, because then you get up there and, eventually, when the money starts coming in, you can hire somebody to be a naturalist, and they can be up above and look at the animals out there and explain what they're seeing. And then you have birthday parties that come out there, and, it would be huge, I think. I've done a lot of business development, so for me, it's just about making kids laugh and scream and stuff like that, so.
I think,
you have your contact information is here with the city?
Yeah, I give it, yep. Yep.
Yeah.
But just, think about it, and if you guys want to meet again, and then, I can bring some sketches, we can go out there and pick our brains together and figure out the best place to do it, but, like I said, I know, money is tight. But then again, you don't make money by going so far tight that you lose everything, so. I'm thinking that you're probably talking, if I got all the wood, and get it from a lot of sawmills, now I know tons of guys that do it, and white oak and pines and the tamaracks and the white cedar, you're probably looking at about $5,000 for wood. Because a lot of it's gonna be logs and natural branches and stuff like that. And I can get that from the loggers. They'll just let me come out there and cut them up, so. It'd be fun.
I still like the thought of building tree houses. I'm older.
Yeah, right. Right. Oh, no, I mean, it's a big venture. I mean, it's not a costly venture, but it's just I don't see a downside. Now unless there's something with the trees where they say they don't want them near them or whatever. When it comes to that, then, I guess.
That's what the issue was with the train. Was taken away from what it was originally, and
As a natural area,
you
right?
just couldn't mix the two because it's turning it more into, and that would have maybe generated some money too,
Right. Right.
That was going out and through them though, this would be
Yeah,
in one spot.
I guess the worst thing, I mean, can't harm to check into it.
That's what I'm saying, I mean, and if it doesn't get rejected right away, give me a call and then I'll do some sketches.
Okay.
I mean, they won't be cement proof, but I mean, there'll be sketches where you say, oh, I get the vision. Because I want to make it look like, you're in the woods.
They'd have to run through 2 hurdles before it comes back
Sure.
to us. First would be through the city attorney to see if it's even possible to
Right.
do that in that park. And then it would have to go through the city council to see if they are interested in
Right.
us
Yeah.
pursuing it before it comes back to us.
Sure, I understand how it works. Believe me, up there, I've run through tons of boards. I know how it works. It just, I just thought, I was just sitting there, and I was sitting there thinking, God, that'd be cool, it'd be kind of fun, and you get people to come through, and pretty soon you have restaurants opening up, and stores, and, you create traffic, people are gonna stop. So. But thanks a lot for hearing it.
Thank you.
And,
Can I get you that scene?
D. Long.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Guys, have a good night.
Yeah, you take care.
Back, old business, recreational activities in Little Falls. Yeah, I
We have a list.
Have a whole list of them. Greg's idea was to place the activities in the parks, what you think would go where and work in the park. We filled in some of the things that have been talked about or are existing or whatever in there. And then after that, of course, we wanted to prioritize which parks we wanted to spend money on to pursue the activities in there. And we were hoping that you guys had that all figured out before you got
don't,
here.
yeah, you did. This list here is,
It's kind of an extensive list, but
archery, I think the only park that we would have available for archery would be, the new one up, the arc.
I never really thought about archery.
Archery,
Other than up at the arc, where would we have room to have archery?
well, you could put that almost anywhere, but,
You
you
have to
better
have
if there's
backstops
indoor,
and
like
everything.
in the exchange arena, because,
or the school gym or something like that.
yeah, because the wind does affect arrows. On a real windy day, you don't wanna be shooting them because you can miss a target by a decent distance if you don't know what you're doing.
Well, it's easy enough. Let's just say we're not gonna consider that as one of our
I
activities that we're
just
gonna
think-
prioritize for use of our park.
That was pretty tough because of liabilities that go with it, safety
Totally
issues.
agree.
Yeah. Band concert, I would like to see the Le Bourget Park, that little hill, you still could have something up there where sometimes people just like to sit on the grass and listen to something, and that's kind of an ideal spot.
The problem with that is you constantly have wind there.
A windbreak, you know.
Little
It's not-
Tree cover.
Yeah, there's nothing, it's noisy because of the wind coming through it just funnels down the river. That's the biggest problem,
And the trains.
Trains.
They-
beside that. But,
They used to have them in Pine Grove Park.
but there it's protected.
Yeah.
That's why Mill Park, or
Maple Island.
Maple
Maple
Island.
Island works so well.
Because of down below.
You're down in a hole.
Well, let's just keep it there then.
Maple Island, and how about having a few in Pine Grove once in a while?
There you have the shelter building and
Yeah, and that whole area where the picnic tables and that are, and it seems to break the wind, and plus it's a nice setting.
baseball, you have,
Baseball parks.
uh, for the kids, you have Limber Complex, which is more,
I'm not gonna worry about school district property. That's where they all are. What about Lions?
the Lions Park, that's another for kids.
Yep.
That's for Little League.
It's really not our park.
That's
though.
not
No.
city
It's not
park,
ours?
not city park.
How
either.
about the Kiwanis Park? Or Kiwanis Field at Lions? None of those are?
Those are, yes, those are all softball fields, so I believe.
Okay. Well, middle school uses
Yeah.
Kiwanis Field for baseball.
They also
That's-
use
that's
North
owned by
Pine
the
Grove.
Lions.
North Pine Grove they use for baseball too.
Yeah, North Pine Grove.
Wherever we're set up for them already is where they go.
Yeah, and we don't have new ones, so I guess that ends that, huh?
And the little guys can play at Philippi. Not an official park.
The basketball,
You know where that is? It's by Creamery Splending.
Okay.
There's a little backstop there.
Yeah.
We kinda call it Philippi Park.
Well, you mean right down the road?
Is that still there?
Yeah.
Backstop, they put a new one up.
Oh, yeah, I know where.
That's where they found the medallion last year.
Oh,
There's no fence. You just gotta run like
No,
crazy.
Yeah, they-
it's playing the
the-
sandlot ball there.
Legion just put something up there.
Did they?
Is that the right park?
You know, basketball used to be big outdoors,
They still play quite a bit at Pine Grove, North Pine Grove.
do they?
They do. And I think they won over at the Legion Park, American Legion.
Well, we still have that one that's right next to Kiwanis there. I mean, Lions on the west side. It's across the road. It's on the east side of the road, next
Oh,
to
yeah,
the
yeah,
tennis
yeah. I know
courts.
where you're talking about, yeah, next to the tennis courts. But the one
It's
on
still there.
North Pine Grove and the one over by Key Road, that one gets used quite a bit. This one over here, I know my kids came over here and they said the chain nets weren't up and you can't tell when the ball goes through the hoop all the time.
Is there a way we can kind of fix this one up a little bit? I think if you did,
Which one?
the one right
Across
here,
the street here.
Across the street?
yeah,
Well, that's kind of what we were trying to decide is
tear it down or fix it
where
up.
these activities go and where we want to spend the money for the next year or 2 or 5 or whatever. That's kind of what the idea was.
We had plans at Washington Playground to stick one in, but that never came to any fruition.
The reason that went through, we were gonna do a matching with the Boys and Girls Club, and now that they moved over there, I believe they're gonna be putting one in there.
I think they are too, but that's still not helping the kids that aren't in the Boys and Girls Club. You know, these pickup games, high school kids should be out there. The more time they have on the court, just even jungle ball like that, better it is,
Yes, it
you
is.
know? Develop skills. So I'd like
Well,
to see,
I think that it would be, the North Pine Grove Park one actually gets utilized quite a bit. Every time I'm over there with baseball, there's some guys over there shooting hoops, playing a game. And I know a lot of high school kids like that court. And if this one here, you could just maybe blacktop and put some lines out there, I think that would get utilized as well.
put
I
some
mean, not,
nets, some kind of netting, so they know they make it, so it's not an air ball every time.
it's a matter of chasing the ball down when you make a basket. Keeps going.
Oh.
That's I think a very important thing with basketball courts is well fenced around them so you don't have to chase it.
Chase the balls, yeah.
Same thing
And I
with
think the
tennis.
one out in North Pine Grove does have, well, it's got the tennis courts on the one side of it.
You have to do some chasing there, but it's not that bad because the one end, they have the buildings on the south end.
I wouldn't say redo any of these courts. I think the Legion family they put money in over there. And we've been utilizing their money and those courts are pretty nice now. And I don't know if you've been by there, Zero.
Oh, yeah.
And they put their money in, so it's like we haven't had to do much. I think we provided a hoop one time, right?
We matched.
Okay, there
But-
used to be,
Just coat them and just make them, play them.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to be resurfaced or anything.
I think the only two we need to consider right now is one right here, get that up so it's usable. And then there was one by Our Lady of Lord's School that kids used to use too, and that one's getting a little decrepit.
No, that was just redone.
Was it?
What, WSI paid for that?
Okay, so that one's done. Good.
Yep, just I think the North Pine Grove one and maybe that one over by the tennis courts by Lincoln.
Could fix it up a bit. It's only one hoop there, right?
It's just one, that's probably why it gets underutilized. When you got two, now you can,
But if you put one on the other end, then you're gonna have to put a fence or else the ball's gonna go into the street. Maybe you can look at what a fence would cost over there and putting an extra hoop in.
but yeah, minimal maintenance, but
Mhm.
I think they're important. Bikes, BMX, do we have trails for BMX bikes?
If you're gonna put it in, the only two places that would have land would be the Arc or
Maple Island, but it's hard, I mean, Old Mill,
Yeah, Mill Park. The Mill Park is
I can't see it.
pretty dangerous there.
Yeah. If they're thinking trails, we probably don't have land.
Huh.
And once the railroad smoothed out all that property over there, took away all those trails and